So, very welcome everyone. So this is a specific special class that I'm going to be recording for restorative yoga, specifically for highly sensitive beings. So because I'm definitely am one of those highly sensitive beings, and living in a kind of complex world, we can sometimes feel a little bit overstimulated, take on other people's emotions and burdens, and have a bit of sensory overload. So this specific class is a kind of space or retreat to kind of lay that all down and connect back with that peace within. So we're going to start off in a restorative child's pose, and you're going to need a couple of props for your class. So if you've got a bolster, grab a bolster. If you haven't got a bolster, don't worry, you can always use two sleeping pillows instead, just one stacked on top of each other. And we're going to grab a brick or a block onto its middle setting, and then slide that underneath your bolster. So you're kind of creating a little bit of a ramp or an incline. And then if you've got a blanket, you're going to open up the blanket into kind of like a rectangle shape. And then you can roll the blanket up into a sausage shape. Option one with the blanket is to place the sausage shape just behind the bum on top of the heels. If you find that you don't really want anything behind the bum, you can also use the blanket as padding underneath the knees and the ankles. So you kind of choose what feels best for you. If you've got two blankets, so you can do one underneath the bum, one underneath the heels. And then we're just going to scoot ourselves a little bit closer towards the blankets, pillows, bolster. Hands come down either side. And then carefully start to lie the belly and the chest. And turning the head over towards the left as you rest right cheek down towards the bolster. Just notice where the hands want to rest. So you might want to slide the hands just to kind of hug the top of the bricks or the bolster. Maybe the hands rest either side of the body, either side of the bolster, palms facing up or facing down. And then option to close the eyes here, or just relaxing the gaze to one spot ahead of you. Taking a breath in through your nose. And then exhale out through your mouth. Allowing yourself about 2 more breaths like this, breathing in to fill up. Exhale to release. We'll take that one more time. Inhaling a sense of inflation through the body. And exhaling to release. Letting the breath resume at its natural rhythm. And then turning the attention inwards. Taking a moment to scan what you're noticing on the inward terrain. Noticing sensations present in the body. Emotional tone. How are you landing into life today? No judgments whatsoever. Noticing any constriction or tightness in the body. And see if you can invite some space. And we're going to visualize inhaling and exhaling through the left nostril. Inhale and exhale, equal in length and softness through the left side of your body. In this practice, there'll be moments of silence and stillness. During the silence, just please know that I'm right here with you. And you'll hear my voice very soon. Let this exhale be the last exhale, the right cheek down on your bolster. And we'll carefully lift the head, turn the head over towards the opposite direction, and rest the left cheek down towards bolster or pillows. And this time as we breathe, just visualizing the breath moving in and out through the right nostril. Staying present, curious, compassionate to all the sensations and feelings that arise when you make some time for rest. Three more breaths in. Taking a breath in through your nose. And then releasing that breath out through your mouth. When you feel ready to move, we're going to move at a pace that doesn't disturb the peace that we've created too much. So carefully peeling head, chest off your bolster. And then if your props aren't in the way, we're just going to lift up into a tabletop position. So hips kind of lift off the heels, removing any props you have on top of your heels. Wrists underneath the shoulders, knees beneath the hips. Shifting the weight into your right leg as you extend that left leg back behind you. So bringing a little bit of lengthening through that left leg can feel quite nice after quite a long child's pose. Press the heel back, maybe a few rocks forwards and backwards just to get deep into those left hamstrings. Take a breath in and a breath out. And then carefully rebending that left leg, and then we'll take that on the other side. So right leg starts to extend back. Feel that stretch, that lengthening through the back of the right leg. Toes stay on the ground as you maybe rock forwards and backwards a couple of times. Lovely. And we're going to carefully rebend that right leg. And then make our way into our next restorative posture. So it's going to be a face down relaxation. You don't need any props for this. Any bricks for this. You're going to need some props. So we're going to take the bolster or the pillows down towards the end of your mat. And then you've got a nice clear space, taking the blanket up towards the top. So you've got some options with the blankets here. You can keep the blanket nice and open. If you want to, you can start to roll the edge closest towards the end, closest towards you into kind of like a sausage shape where you can rest your head on. So you might want to come forwards first and then see what feels best for you. We're going to hang the top of the ankles and the feet on top of your pillows or your bolster at the end of your mat. And then carefully lie the front of the body all the way down. Options with the top of the body. So you might come down and want to rest your forehead on that sausage shape. Arms can cactus. Maybe they reach forwards. Sometimes it might feel a bit more comfortable to make a little pillow with your forearms or your hands, and then rest your forehead on top of your arms. If it feels more comfortable to turn the head over towards one side and then rest one cheek down, that's also an option. Perhaps you just want to cactus the arms and then bring the cheek down towards the blanket or the earth. So just exploring which option feels comfortable for you or feels the most comfortable. And then carefully beginning to settle back into stillness. We'll take a breath in and then releasing that breath out. Making sure the feet are elevated slightly. The front of the body is supported by the earth. Reminding the thinking mind to focus on sensations rather than reaching for a goal. Breathing more. Let your breath be natural, steady. Settling into some sort of physical stillness. Let the body be received by the earth. If there are any lingering worries or stories, concerns that are floating about in the mind, let's practice letting them pass on by, like clouds in the sky, fading away and dissolving. And yourself remaining as the sky itself. That's capable of holding everything within it and remaining untouched by it. You want to switch the direction that your head is facing and simply just turning the head over towards the opposite direction, resting opposite cheek down. And giving everything a container to rest here. 3 more breaths. Taking a breath in through the nose and then releasing that breath out. When you feel ready to move, allowing yourself to move at a pace that feels comfortable for you. Hands can come underneath the shoulders. Take your time, one at a time. We're going to push back through hands and knees. And then carefully come up into a comfortable seated position whilst we set up for our next restorative posture. So we're going to come into Supta Baddha Konasana, which is a gentle back bend, nice little heart opener, but still keeping it nice and comfy. So carefully bringing your bolster or your pillows lengthways behind you. And we're going to turn the body away from the bolster. Oh, sorry, I forgot to say, if you want a little bit of head support, just have the blanket folded up at the top of your pillows or your blanket or your bolster. And then we're going to turn the body away from your props. You've got some options with the legs here. So you come into Baddha Konasana legs, which is soles of the feet together, knees apart. If you're taking this option, you want to make it super restorative. You can slide some bricks or blocks underneath the knees or the thighs. If you haven't got bricks or blocks, you can just slide some cushions underneath. That will do the same kind of support. And then if you come into this and you're not really feeling the hips open, sometimes when you're feeling a little bit exposed, it can be a little bit too much to have the hips open. You can just start to extend the legs and come into supported fish instead. So you choose what feels best for you. And then sliding the back so it's in contact with your pillows or bolster, and then just ease yourself back onto the props. So if you come back and you're lying on pillows, you want a little bit more of a back bend. Keep adding cushions underneath the chest area, the head area, just to open up the chest a little bit more. Allow the feet and the ankles just to flop away from each other if you've got the legs extended. And you can kind of roll up the blanket here into a sausage shape underneath the head if you want a little bit more cushioning for the back of the head. So every pose in restorative yoga should feel comfortable. So we're not trying to push into a stretch here. We're kind of easing the body into a comfortable shape so that it's more likely to relax. Resting the arms wherever feels most comfortable for you. Drawing a sweeter, deeper breath in. And then releasing through the mouth. And again, once more, inhaling. Exhaling to release. Continuing to breathe in and out through your nose. And the intention inwards. Noticing what's arising for you in the inwards terrain, in inner environment. And just practicing taking a step back and seeing everything through a lens of compassion. If you experience any difficult emotions or feelings, you might explore the question, what is it that I really need right now? What's this feeling, this emotion asking from me? And leave you here in some sweet silence for the next couple of minutes. Three more breaths in here. Taking a breath in through the nose and exhale that breath out, releasing perhaps through the mouth. Carefully moving out of your backbone when you feel ready. We're going to bend the legs if they're not already bent. Lift the knees up towards the ceiling, so soles of the feet on the ground. And then you're going to carefully roll off your bolster or your pillows, maybe left or right hand side, just see what feels best for you. And then carefully coming up into a comfortable seated position while we set up for our side lying relaxation. So this is a slightly different option to Shavasana. It's a little bit more nurturing and comforting here, especially if you've got some pillows. So we're going to turn the body over towards the left-hand side. So if you want to be facing the camera, you just might need to change the where your head and feet are. And then if you've got a blanket or some cushions, you might want to slide that in between the legs so that your knees can be cushioned on top. You have a little bit more comfort in between the legs. And then if you've got a cushion or a blanket, placing that at the top of your mat for your head to rest. So if you've got pillows, come to lie down on the left-hand side, and then you can hug the pillows in between the arms. So I'm just imagine that I've got some pillows here, and I'm just kind of hugging them in between my arms, and then resting the left cheek, left ear down. If you've got a bolster, this might be a bit more challenging. So instead of hugging the bolster, you can create a little ramp here. So brick underneath, bolster on top, and then you can slide that left arm underneath the bolster and then placing that right arm on top. If you're like, oh, Tash, I'm not quite feeling this side lying relaxation, then you can just come to lie down on the back of the body. But sometimes having something to hug or just squeeze whilst you're lying on your side can feel quite comforting. So definitely lying on your left-hand side, left side of the body, left ear, cheek come down. Let the left arm go long if that feels a bit more comfortable rather than hugging. Right arm can squeeze pillows, bolster. And then just take a scan of your body here from the crown of the head all the way down towards the toes. And perhaps just noticing if there's any part of the body that you might be constricting or tensing, maybe holding on to. And if you do come across places of tension here, we're not forcing relaxation. So maybe these places of constriction and tightness were there for reasons of self-protection in the past. But if we do encounter tightness or tension, we're just offering, very gentle offering of this notion of how it feels to find some space. You just lay it all down. Worries, concerns, just put it all down. And just take a moment to retreat within. beginning to deepen your breath. And then as the breath starts to deepen, just noticing if there's any part of your life that might benefit from some extra care and attention for you today. Just keep that contemplation in your heart space as you begin to invite some gentle movement back to the body. So if you want to roll onto your back, you're very welcome. Releasing the pillows or bolster. Just come to lie down on the back of the body, maybe stretching the legs forwards. Arms can reach back behind you. Notice if there's any sense of rushing that's creeping in. Coming back to a slow awakening of the body. Flexing, pointing feet, movement through the wrists. Something that I've been practicing recently is just giving myself a hug at the end, just as a last act of kindness and compassion to myself. And then bending the legs and carefully lift yourself up into a comfortable seated position so you can roll to one side and lift yourself all the way up. So as you come up to seated, hands come wherever feels comfortable for you, either side of on top of your knees, maybe both hands together in the heart space. And just bowing the chin down towards your heart and thanking you and your body for your practice today. Silently repeating to yourself in your head, may I be well. May I be safe. May I be at ease. Take a breath in. Exhale, breath out. Thank you so much, everyone, for joining me. Take it easy today. Lots of gentle, nurturing vibes. If you're feeling a little bit raw and tender, don't worry, that's completely normal. Just you should be feeling better in a couple of hours. Thank you so much. I'm just going to stop the recording now.